Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaraja Sarvadam Ganganapade Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya Sri Krishnaya Namaha. Shri Radhaya Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Uma Maheshwara Swamine Namaha. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 15th of May 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages, to the same one Supreme Paramatma residing everywhere at all times in every being. With that bhavana and prarthana, we are continuing to examine various ideas in Vedanta, and today I just want to spend the next 10 minutes or so talking about the subtle body, the Sukshma Sharira, that is holding the experiences from the senses. Right? So when Bhagavan Krishna is talking about this dhyayato vishayan punsaha sangasteshu pajayate, what is happening actually is that the experience from the senses is being held in subtle form, sukshma form, inside the antakarana. I hope this is clear. Why does that happen? Again, that is the way the Jivatma is given opportunity to come out of Maya. That's why there is sense experience. Right? Okay. Now, the experience is held inside, and that internal world is again a matter of experience. It is experienced by the Jivatma. See, the discovery of the Atma Tattva is very big thing. Even if you look at the biblical tradition, the traditional, even Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, it's not really very clear if there is Atma, like the way the Vedanta is discussing it, or the Gita. You know, if you look at they use the word soul or psyche in the New Testament, but that doesn't mean like how the Gita is saying there's a clear Atma Tattva. This stuff is it's not clear as such. Or it's interpreted in some other way, perhaps. इसमें इतनी clarity नहीं है. Commentaries have been written in different ways. Bhagavad Gita is like crystal clear on this point, that you are Atman, and that Atma Tattva is Satchit Ananda. It has even gone that far, and it is also Sanatana, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. See how advanced it is. And not trying to say one is greater than another or anything like that. Just showing you some of the differences. Bible goes to level of mind. It doesn't talk about really Atma. You see, so people don't know that. Even many people who follow Christianity don't know that. They say body, mind, soul. They assume there's a soul. But it doesn't really talk about any independent soul. It talks about mind. That's about as far as it goes. You see, so very, very interesting. The discovery of the Atma it is so extraordinary because it is beyond this layer of the Sukshma Sharira. The whole humanity is just rolling around inside Sukshma Sharira, subtle body. Look at our experience day to day, the dream experience at night time and all. Where does it all come from? Most of it is just all subtle body mixture. That's what it is. You see, so when intelligence awakens, when our energies awaken so beautifully, they are in sync and they are aligned and all those things that we always talk about, there is a doorway that opens from the mind, or between the mind and the Atma. There's a doorway between the two. Just within yourself, the mental framework is what we have to work with. So when we make the mind still, when the mind is still, steady, purified and engrossed with God, Bhagavan na swarupma leen rakhu, in Gujarati we will say. Bhagavan ni andar man rakhu. They keep the mind inside the Lord. Right? That part is there in the Bible also. That mental stuff is nearly the same everywhere. Very interesting. So when the antakarana is brimming with divinity, and evolves step by step to the point where the antakarana is completely absorbed inside the swarup of Paramatma. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say you warm up black coffee, right? You make black coffee, you made it, and then maybe it's gotten cold. You warm it up in 2 minutes, 3 minutes in the microwave. It's just nothing but black coffee. And you put, let's say, quarter cup of cream in there. What happens? The cream and the coffee mix together, and the whole flavor, taste, everything changes. Isn't it so? Similarly, that cream is Paramatma. We are that black coffee. Our mind is like that black coffee. It has everything in it, but it has to be infused. It is infusion. So 9 forms of devotion, which is very relevant in terms of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the 18,000 verse Puran, Mahapuran, Bhagavad Mahapuran. So इसमें ये 9 प्रकार की 9 forms of devotion are referenced there. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyamatma Nivedanam. These 9 types of devotion, when a bhakta engages in them one after another, stays within those 9 forms of devotion and stays in it eventually to a point where there is no break in that. बहुत बड़ी बात है. Amazing. Is it possible for us? Yes. It is. Definitely. What we're doing right now, Sachin and all of you together, we are contemplating Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta, right? Right now. So which bhakti are we doing? Shravan Bhakti. Before we started the exposition right now, we were listening to mantras and stotras and all that. What is that? So Shravanam Kirtanam, maybe under Kirtanam there's 1 or 2 Kirtans. Shravanam Kirtanam, see, Om Shravanam Kirtanam Smaranam, the 9 forms, Vandanam. So as we are listening to the mantras, we see the images of Ganesha and Shivji and Krishna Bhagavan. We are doing Vandan. Isko kya kehte hain? Vandan Bhakti. So Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Vishnu means God, Bhagwan ke taraf. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. Smaranam means to remember again and again the Leela Charitra of Bhagwan Ram, Bhagwan Krishna, of Bhagwan Shankar, of the different sages. Isko Leela Charitra kehte hai. In Vachanamrut Garada Pratham 3, Pratham nu Triju, Shriji Maharaj, Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwan has beautifully talked about this smaran of this Leela Charitra. Leela Charitra Rupi Jhalma Mande Rakhu. There's a whole exposition on that. It's a way of bringing the mind into the extraordinary relational connection with the Leela Charitra of the Ishta Devata. That's why we have Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10. The 10th skand, Dasam skand. Very important. Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam has 12 skandhas. Right? So the 10th skand is the Leela Charitra of Sri Krishna Paramatma. ठीक है? So जो भगवान कृष्ण के भक्त है, they have to study 10th skand. शिक्षापत्री में भी महाराज कहते हैं कि 10th skand is भक्ति शास्त्र, उनका स्वयं का भक्ति शास्त्र था वो 10th skand. और 5th skand is योग शास्त्र. So these two, Pancham skand and Dasam skand, they're available online also, but you can get the books if you want, or they're available as PDF. A lot of ways they're available. You can listen to the verses, listen to the exposition, and the Agnya and the Shikshapatri is to listen to it minimum once a year, and if not, and really the Agnya is to listen some part of it every day. Why? Because it is a combination of bhakti, yoga and bhakti. Pancham skand and 10th Dasam skand. This is not Bhagavad Gita we're talking about. We're talking about Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. And to do this, what does it do? It allows our mind to be in the Lila Charitra of Sri Krishna Bhagavan. Particularly the 5 chapters, the Ras Panchadhyay, that's like the cream of the 10th skanda. वो बहुत बड़ी बात है. There are certain commentators that have done like massive exposition on the Ras Panchadhyay, but that is the absolute cream of it. But it needs, you have to read the commentaries, listen to so many different expositions, because that is a height. It is recommended by the people in the Hare Krishna movement, the ISKCON movement, to read the Bhagavatam right from the beginning, and it will culminate into the 10th skand. Somebody starts reading the 10th skand right away, without the first 9 skandas, you can get a lot of you'll not get the real punch of that. ठीक है? So जिसको भगवान कृष्ण की भक्ति करनी है, really, go through the Bhagavatam. Go through it, read it with devotion, not just like, okay, I'm reading it. No, भक्ति से उसका पूजन करना, वो बहुत बड़ा शास्त्र है. और वो भागवत ये भगवान का ही स्वरूप है. वो Srimad Bhagavad, the 18th Puran. There's 18 Puranas. The Bhagavatam has 12 cantos or 12 skandas. They're called skandas, like cantos. And they are amazing. I mean, so all the incarnations are described there. So much is there. I mean, they're absolutely tremendous. 18,000 verses. So when we're listening to Bhagavatam, what are we doing? Which bhakti? Shravan bhakti. The Smaran bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam. Now how do you do the Pada Sevanam? Bhagwan ka jo archa swarup hai, vigrah hai. Take Sri Krishna as an example. Unka jo murdi manohar swarup hai, उनके जो चरण है, राधिका जी के जो चरण है, वो भक्त है, उनके अनादि भक्त है. पाद सेवन means with mantras do they place the flowers. You know, so you can do it in मानसी पूजा. वचनामृत में भी ये बात लिखी है. आप पूजन मानसी पूजा भी कर सकते हैं. It's the same effect. If you have like 1,000 flowers and you're offering 1 flower at a time, you can do it that way. If you have rice, you can offer, each grain of rice can be visualized as a flower. That's fine. And you can, if you don't have anything, man mandir. Your mind becomes a mandir. That's really where it has to be anyway. That becomes a murti. Bring the murti inside. The 8 forms of murtis are there. 8 forms of images, the forms of God. The one that you visualize in your mind, that is also called Bhagwan ki murti, one of the 8 forms. And you can offer the flowers and whatever you want to offer at the feet of God internally. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam with Das Bhav. So there is Dasatva Bhav. You can have Dasatva Bhav towards Bhagwan Krishna. You see, of course, that is always there. But then the predominant Bhav is called the different rasas in the Vaishnava tradition. The predominant ras can be an amorous, it's loving love. Love is predominant. So is love not predominant in Das Bhav? Of course it is. I'll just take another minute here, then we'll stop. Hanumanji is predominantly Dasatva towards Bhagwan Ram. Radhika ji is predominantly this Prema Bhav, this Sakha Bhav, the gopis have the Sakha Bhav, friendship Bhav. You can establish any kind of relationship with God you want. As a lover, they are in love with Sri Krishna. Mirabai is in love with Sri Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in love with Sri Krishna, to fall in love with God. The Christian mystics and many of the great high-level sages in Christianity are in love with Jesus. The Sufis are in love with Allah. It's prem. You see, there's mysticism there, but that is the path of love. So it depends on the kind of bhav that one has. Now you can also have this Vedantic bhav, that मैं ब्रह्म हूँ, भगवान परब्रह्म है, ब्रह्म परब्रह्म का भाव. Yes, more gnanatmak bhav, like this, mostly what we talk about in terms of Vivek Chudamani. Can have that relationship and be a student of the Gita and really go into it deep. So many scholars are there, so many teachers have been. What is that? That is a gnan, the gnan is predominant there. So what is the bhava there? That is the bhav to worship God through the adhyatmic teachings itself. It depends on the bhav. You see, so it depends on which one is predominant. And then the sadhana is done this way. Vachanamrut mein isko ang kehte hai. Potanu ang olakhu. You see, so there's one predominant bhav. Others are always there. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam. Archana karni Bhagwan ki. Prem se archana karni. With the, people put the different clothes on, and, you wake up the Lord, and all this kind of thing, right? In the Vaishnava parampara, the way of doing all that seva of the Thakurji ni seva, they say in the Gujarati, Bhagwan ki seva, it is shown by Vitthal Nathji, Vallabhacharyaji's son. Vallabhacharyaji was a great saint. Shuddhadvait was a Tattvagnan devotee of Bhagwan Krishna. And उनके जो पुत्र थे वल्लभाचार्य जी, उन्होंने इस सब सेवा की प्रक्रिया बताई है. How to do this seva. This is the bhakti path, the path of this relational bhakti. See, so Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam. That's easy, that's beautiful to do. भगवान की जो मूर्ति है, घर में मूर्ति है, different places in the home, उनको प्रेम से वंदन करना. That is a bhakti. The more, you can make it like when you enter into the home, first thing to do is to go into the mandir and Bhagwan ka jo vigrah hai, usko vandan karna. Rather than opening the refrigerator and eating something right away. When you enter into your own home, take the shoes off, go into your mandir. Ghar mein jo mandir ka jo sthan hai, wahan jana, unko namaskar karna. If you do that every time, that is vandan bhakti. You see, small things. These are not small things. They seem small. They're not small. They are actually things that anybody can do. Small children can do this also. But ऐसा नियम बनाना कि जहाँ भगवान का जो मंदिर है, हम आते हैं inside the house, the first should be obeisance, prostration. And if you are even more devoted, vandan you can do panchang pranam, और आप दंडवत भी कर सकते हैं, जिसको साष्टांग दंडवत भी कर सकते हैं. Jitni bhakti, jitni nishta. You see, there's enhancements. People are always talking about, we want to have even more luxury in life. Oh, what about more luxury in bhakti? Make bhakti luxurious. Can we do it? How much does it cost? It doesn't cost anything. That's the one thing that is free, bhakti. That doesn't cost anything. Bhagwan says, you want to come to me, come. Everybody come to me, no problem. So we always want to make our life luxurious. Increase 9 forms of devotion. Navada bhakti ko increase karna, life becomes luxurious. Bhagwan ke saath connection, iske aage koi, there's anything greater than that? Of course not. Of course not. This dhyayato vishayan punsaha. That's okay. I mean, that's to some extent it's okay. But when the buddhi awakens, the focus intensifies on the supreme. There's nothing beyond that. That's the topmost. Billions of universes are bubbles compared to the Goloka. Bhagwan ka jo dham hai. They're only bubbles. Galaxies come and go. Isme kya badi baat hai? Think about that. The greater our vision and mahima, in Gujarati we say Bhagwan no mahima samajvo, then automatically bhakti increases. Life continues. Life becomes very smooth. Let's close with this point. If 9 forms of devotion are increased, enhanced, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Sakabhav, Atmanivedan, that's the prostration. Everything is you, thou art all. That is Atmanivedanam. You're giving the Atma to the Lord. So you say, what more can you give to God except your own Atma? Except the Atma Tattva. Atma Nivedanam. Everything is offered to God. This is the 9th bhakti. This is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. And who wants to do? Karke dekhna. See the magic that happens in this. Mein kya anand hai? Kisko malum hai ye sab? Vishay Anand, this is all bubbles only, all temporary stuff, and there's so much dukh. Gunatitanand Swami ji kehte, jetlu ka ek vishay ma sukh che, dukh vinanu hoy ne, jetlu ka ek maya ma sukh che. It's all mixed. It's like having a gulab jam with a lot of mud inside there. This is the sansar. Go to the gulab jam, go to an Indian restaurant, say, sir, waiter says, what do you want? I want 4 gulab jam. Okay. And then put, in that sugar sauce, go outside and put some mud inside there and then give it to me. He said, you've lost your mind. Get out of this restaurant. This sansar is this gulab jam plus the mud. Remember this equation. Gulab jam plus quarter cup of mud equals sansar. And that is what we're running after. And that is why we suffer. Ye sab kya hai? We start putting the gulab jam in your mouth. Get rid of the mud. There's only God. Gulab jam minus mud equals God. Gulab jam plus mud equals sansar. Simple equation. Very simple equation. And what is that mud? Rag, dvesh, aham, mamata, mera, tera, kle, all this crap, the nonsense things are there. This is mud. Very simple. Itni hi baat hai. Let's stop here for now. Om Divalingaya Nama, Urdhvalingaya Nama, Anandalingaya Nama, Dwadash Jyotirlingaya Namo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Aim Brim Klim Chamundaye Vichai Swaha. Om Durga Durga Rakshini Tha Tha Swaha. Om Shri Durga Arpanamastu. Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu. Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, 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 Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu.